Alright, we're going to do a video on trimming our onions. As you can see, we're trimming them down to approximately about 6 inches high. And don't throw out those greens because we're going to show you how to dehydrate those. And what that does is that forces the onion to push out new ones, and that also puts a new skin around the onion, so that's how they get bigger. You just go all along there, anything that's out, you just cut them off. And you could do this to your green onions too. I mean, you can use all the green onions that are in there and as green onions, or if you want to pull them, you can pull them at any time. I mean, they might just be a little bit bigger. But we're just going to go all around and we're going to cut everything. So it's about 6 inches. You got to wait until they're about a foot high, and then you cut them down to 6 inches. And then from here, you let them grow to about 9 inches, and you just keep cutting. And that forces the onion to start getting the bulbs to get bigger. And onions, you could put onions anywhere. We got them all throughout. So I'm going to pause this and we'll be right back when we're done. Alright, these ones a little bit easier to see. Cutting. These ones here are the onions that we're going to let to go to big bulbs. The other ones we'll pick every once in a while to have some green onions, but these ones we just let go. Oh, I guess we're going to have an onion. And if that happens, don't worry about it. I mean, you're going to have, we have tons and tons of onions all over the place. So we plant them everywhere, not just here. We put them in throughout all our other stuff. Now, if your onion is laying down, then you need to pull it. See how those ones are all still standing up? We had to pull these ones that were here. That's why there's nothing there now. We'll have to come up with something to put there. Because if they're laying down, that means they're rotting. And there's one that he just laid, it's laying down. So he'll have to pull that one. Let me get up closer. See that one laying down? Go ahead and pull that one. That means it's starting to rot, and you don't want it to leave it there, otherwise it will be non-usable. It'll just rot and stay in the ground. Once you see them laying down, that means they are starting to rot at the top and they can't hold themselves up, and you need to go ahead and pull it. Okay, so this is what we've pulled. Next step, cut. And we had to pull a couple because they are starting to rot. And I cut a couple of them here. I want to show you. These ones were also starting to rot, and if you feel the tops, you can see the tops just kind of like bend over because they're rotting. I will cut the top off of that, but the rest of the bulb is nice and firm, so you don't have to throw away the whole entire thing. Just cut the rotted part off, clean it really good, and you can use them. So that's the next step. We're going to go in and I'm going to get these all cleaned, and then we'll come back. Alright, so that's all the scraps and stuff. Those are all going to the composter. Over here, these are all the onions. that we had to pull. I'll use those in tonight's dinner. I'm going to do some beet greens. I'll do a video on that as well. The jars are for the beet greens and the beets. But this is what we got. That's our stack. It's pretty big. Turn it on. Alright, so the first thing we got to do is we got to get these cut up. There's a couple easy ways to do this, and that is to cut it right down the middle, put the two ends together, turn it, and then just cut them. And this will, after you get them all cut, we're going to go ahead and just dehydrate these. And if you look right there, go ahead Desiree, look right there, over here. Can you see that? Yeah. These are dehydrated onion greens. Okay, back to our, back up some. There you go. They don't want to see that close. Good job. So, and this is how big I make them. It don't really matter, you know. If you make them too small though, you got to understand that they do shrink. And then I'm going to grab these. Well, I'm going to go over and get mine. I'll bring it over to here. This is my dehydrator tray. These stack on top of each other. I'll put it right here. You might want to back up some so they can see it. Now the tray itself has big slots, so that's not going to work. This is a old bed skirt that we didn't, it was all ripped and everything, and I pulled it off a couple years ago, and we were going to use it for a rag, and then we never used it. But I found, I just cut these to size, and they're real thin, so they allow the air to go through it. And we're just going to take these, and we're just going to spread them out. And that's about all we want on one. Don't worry, if they're bunched together, that'll be fine. I'll put that over here. Let me grab this other one. And we have another one. There's 5 of them in all. I'll throw some of these on here. And then you're going to want to put this on your dehydrator on. And you'll need to dehydrate them. It takes about an hour, hour and a half. It don't take long, but keep an eye on them. After about an hour, if they're still a little wet and damp, you don't want to take them out. You want to make sure they're completely dry. But that's all there is to it. You just got to cut them up, throw them, spread them out. Doesn't matter if they're on top of each other, because when you look at them after an hour, you'll be able to spread these out. And you will end up with, we just keep them in a jar, a whole bunch of them. These can be used in soup. They can be used, I put them on baked potatoes. You'll want to add put them in a little bit of water and let them hydrate themselves for about 10 minutes before you use them on like a baked potato or anything. But in soups, they're excellent. Vegetable soup, potato soup, I mean, whatever type of soup you have. And the nice thing is that after you dehydrate them, they have just a little bit of flavor. I mean, they're not overpowering. So, I mean, you can put a whole handful in and it's not going to make your soup taste very oniony. It's going to be just the right amount. And that is it. I'm going to go ahead and finish these up. I'm going to go ahead and put this together and then we'll be right back. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right. Well, look over here. As you notice, I wasn't able to get them all in. We'll have to do some more tonight. But I have all of these filled. And they just stack on top of each other. And I'll take all of them and we'll put them over here. Bring them over here. And I already have some on the bottom. So now I just got to turn it and wait till it sits. It seats. Plug it in. Turn it on. Your house is going to smell like onion for a couple hours. But don't worry, it doesn't last very long. Like I said, the green onions don't have a real strong flavor, so they don't have a real strong scent either. But that is it. Dehydrating green onions. You got to cut the tops off anyways to get your onions to be bigger, but don't throw them away. You can dehydrate them and use them in soup and stuff. Thanks. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. Next video, we're going to do a video on some beets. I'm going to roast some beets and I'm going to can some. So check out the next video.